Before I get into the new Bally's room and an update on it, which is behind this black curtain right behind me, I just caught a hooker fight in the hallway between Bally's and Paris. Here it is. But amazing hooker fights aside, behind this black curtain behind me is the new poker room here at Bally's, and they are making progress. So I don't think it's opening very, very soon. I've heard every date from the 4th through the 11th that it's going to open. On Bravo, new promotions are starting on November 9th. And here, with a fitting background of a huge hand at Bally's, are the promos. Here's the page from Bravo. First thing, high hands. For 12 hours a day, every day of the week, $300 high hand every 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure you will have the option of putting some of that money on the table if you're under the maximum of 300. I don't think it's going to be forced onto the table, but if you hit the high hand, you have 200 bucks. I think you could take 100 of the high hand money, put it on the table, get yourself back up to 300. Also, I was a big proponent of this, 2 PATs, because when we had one free roll a week, it was very difficult for people from out of town to play when it's on Sunday. A lot of people leave, they go back home Sunday, and it's tough to play on the day you're traveling. So we have 2 PATs. First one, this one in the yellow box, is played on Wednesday. So people who get into town Sunday or Monday, they can play their hours, they could play it Wednesday, and they could head back on the weekend. And like normal, we have another one on Sunday, but this one, the qualifying period, is from middle of the week until Sunday. So I think the plan was supposed to be this room would be ready by November 9th. That's when the promos start. The promos starting and the room opening would be in sync. Doesn't look like that's happening though. They are recarpeting the entire casino floor, and it seems like the last spot they're going to do is the temp area, which is where I'm pointing my head, the temp poker room. So when they do that, we can't be playing poker there. So they've been saying, you know, this is the date they're going to carpet the temp area. We need to be in the new room by then. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the day they plan to recarpet, this room will not be finished, and they'll just push back the recarpeting of the temp area until this room is open and we're in it playing poker, and that area, the temp area, is freed up. That's what I think. I don't think they're going to pause poker just to recarpet. I don't think this will be ready before the recarpeting. So I just think there's a couple weeks to go, but they are making progress in here. So through the slot machines here, you can see that wall, that rail. We used to have a solid wall. I like this a lot better. I would prefer none at all, but that wall right there is like hollow, if that's a good word to describe it. You know, Bellagio's wall is like 3 feet tall, but it's not quite solid. Aria's is a little odd. Bally's was totally solid. It was like 3-4 feet tall, but it was totally solid. You couldn't see through it. This is more inviting. You can see through it. You can't like walk through it. You can't, you know, really walk over it. It's too tall, but it's more inviting because you can see through it. Sahara's is very similar. It's just some rails in like a certain design, but you can see through it, and it doesn't really like separate the poker room from the rest of the casino so much. So I like this better, even though ideally there would just be none, like what we have in the temp area right over there. There are also the beginnings of some tables. So I have no idea what's going on with the wiring, but there are, you know, the parts of the tables that, you know, your feet would touch if you stretched your legs out while you were playing. The felts and the rails are not on top yet, but there is the base. We can see the layout. So here is a picture I got from near Nosh of the room behind the curtain, and we can see the layout of the tables. Here is one table in the top left, and here are the 13 others. So it looks like a lot more space, which is cool. And like I said earlier, the guardrail, the wall in the foreground, you could see on the bottom left a little, you could see through it. Not totally solid. So it's looking a little better than I expected, actually. So new promos start on the 9th, and we'll see when we're actually in this poker room. I'm enjoying playing in the temp area, but the new room doesn't look as separate and closed off as I thought it was going to be. So we'll see what it's like, and when it's ready, when we're playing in there, I will let everybody know.
Yeah, I got it at the stadium.